Halfback Paul Green kick-started the Sharks' afternoon. His smart footwork dovetailed perfectly with winger Richard Barnett. But Green's game ended with severe concussion. A swinging arm from Noel Goldthorpe saw the Saint marched. It was 8-all at half-time before Cronulla hit the front and stayed there. With 18 minutes to go, Scott Goulet was sent off. Down to 11 men, St George still gave it everything, but was simply outnumbered and outgunned 32-18 at the siren.
Long breeze at their backs in the first half, the Sharks made hard work of getting on the board. Rogers' penalty goal made it 2-0. The 6-2 scoreline didn't last long. Ettinghausen making some space for Rogers. After doing the better for most of the first stanza, the Reds looked set to hit the front again when Tim Horan set up what should have been a try. David Peachey sprung into action and went the length of the field to score.
David Peachey all the way.
The Reds looking for back-to-back victories under the Wacker lights. But it was Cronulla who went on the attack, an accurate Matthew Rogers putting the Sharks on the board. Then 22 minutes in, Jeff Bell offloaded a pass to David Peachey, who did the rest.
He's got plenty of skill, the offload, and they're going to score the try.
A second conversion by Rogers saw Cronulla take an 8-0 lead. Mark Geyer was one of several Reds who came to grief in the first half. The big man injured his left knee but remained on the field. Cronulla resumed with a determined defensive effort while the Reds suffered a crushing blow. Geyer limping out of the game, joining injured teammates David Boyd and Dale Fritz on the sidelines. Meanwhile, Cronulla shifted into overdrive, Sean Ryan finding the try line. And just a few minutes later, a superb run by Danny Lee and David Peachey gave Paul Green the opportunity to put the visitors further ahead.
Green on his own, and Green will score the try.
Cronulla continued to penetrate Reds' territory, Rogers finding Paul Donaghy.
Donaghy scores out of the post.
Another Rogers conversion saw Cronulla streak away to a 24-2 lead. The Sharks buried the Reds with their 5th try of the night right on the siren. The visitors bouncing back from last weekend's crushing defeat at home with an emphatic 28-2 victory in the West.
Well, Paul Green put the issue beyond doubt.
It was tight all night, and with 4 minutes to go, the scores were locked at 8-all. But then Mitch Healy broke the deadlock, and a penalty on the hooter gave the Sharks a 3-point win. Clinton Fletcher, National 9 News. Last night at the football stadium, Cronulla got its campaign back on course, while Souths are still looking for some direction. In what was a dismal match for the Rabbitohs, Paul Shahin got his marching orders 64 minutes in, while the Sharks didn't concede a point. Cronulla easy 24-0 winners.
Cronulla launched a devastating raid on the Gold Coast at Seagull Stadium with a 7-try blitz. Andrew Ettinghausen was, at his typical slippery best, headlining his side's 40-14 victory. Peter Overton, National 9 News.
Star Andrew Ettinghausen, only playing today because his Super League ties exclude him from State of Origin, did everything but touch down. That was left to Mitch Healy, and the Sharks led 8-6 at the uncanny Ettinghausen got the Sharks back to level terms.
scores!
And the Warriors' bad defensive habits returned to haunt them when Cronulla fullback Ben Salmon sliced through.
And the Sharks are away. How quickly can this game turn?
However, with a 42-point flogging in Newcastle...
Ushers drew 22,000, but that was the only bright spot for the home side against Cronulla. Winger Richard Barnett got the Sharks going.
Right into the hands of Richard Barnett.
Matthew Rogers' boot ran hot, kicking 6 from 7.
They got the direction.
While Barnett didn't miss a trick or a teammate. Cronulla home 20-4.
Bell is the try scorer.
But after the early intensity, North Queensland started to drop off tackles, allowing the Sharks to build momentum.
Close, he's over.
Out wide, Cronulla strolled through the Cowboys' defence. Andrew Ettinghausen in brilliant form. The win keeps the Sharks well in range for a Final 8 spot. In the end, 6 tries for a 34-10 victory.
Bell untouched.
Cronulla enjoyed early field position. Aaron Raper going close after some good work down the short side. The Dogs weathered the storm. Cronulla needed to come up with some points, and Paul Green kicked into space, and Mitch Healy found no dogs at home.
With time on their side, Matt Rogers ran an angle on a Paul Green pass to bring the Sharks within a converted try.
There's a try for Matt Rogers!
Culligan
Then dish a little dazzle of their own thanks to some determined running from Aaron Raper, finished by Dave Borton. To be anywhere but Caltech's field, giving up a brace of penalties and executing poorly. Ken Nagus would rue this miscued shoulder charge as Paul Donaghy just kept going. Steve Walters was sin-binned as Canberra's frustrations grew. Cronulla capped a fine half by scoring again and then punished more soft defence with tries to Donaghy again and this one to Raper. 26-6. And the trend continued. Nathan Long ended the match with try number 7.
Cronulla stormed into ANZ Stadium and put the big-name Broncos under the hammer. A 4-try first half was the platform for the Sharks' victory. And leading the way with bucket loads of inspiration was captain Andrew Ettinghausen. Cronulla victorious 36-22.
And Raper made every post a winner.
Raper, the little kick comes off the upright and scores.
At half-time, Cronulla ahead 8-4. The young Sharks hunted as a pack. North's trapped deep in their own territory.
Fields it before the dead ball line. Plenty of chases. And what about that for a tackle from Paul Green?
Tries to Nicow, Rogers and Barnett put the Bears to sleep. And so too, they're now slim hopes for a place in the final 8.
Team Magic put the Sharks back on track.
Healy is in pursuit, so is Ettinghausen. Here's a try for Rogers. It was battered down by Ettinghausen.
And look at that for a skill. Remember that he'd been practicing that at training. That's a great skill.
A Danny Moore mistake gave Cronulla good field position and they made them pay.
Green on the run round. That's made the extra man. Salmon in from the back. And Tuvey is there. Got the pass away. It's a try. Scored by Barnett, the winger.
Rogers' conversion put Cronulla up by 6.
Matt Rogers looks lovely. Beautiful kick.
Disaster struck for Manly just before half-time. Owen Cunningham sent off after this high shot on Nathan Long.
Oh, a high tackle on Nathan Long. So, trouble. It is Owen Cunningham, I believe. He's gone. And he's been sent off.
Clumsy tackle there by Owen Cunningham. Normally the safest of defenders. The arm right up around the head of Nathan Long.
Cronulla's swarming defence kept causing mistakes and Manly was probably lucky to be only 10-4 down at half-time.
Back for Ettinghausen, now for Rogers. Rogers goes away from the sideline.
Playing in the centre, Steve Menzies had hardly been sighted until early in the second half.
Kosef unloading from Menzies. The first base that he's seen out in the centres. Good run, a good bumping run by Menzies.
6 minutes into the final term, the Sharks went further in front, although the try was hotly contested.
Healy! He's over, but is he held up? I think he's going to give it. He has. It's a try for Mitch Healy. And Ridge is blowing up.
Good surge here by Healy. The in-goal judge is right in line. Looks like right there he got the football down.
Hasler almost had the reply just a few minutes later.
Beats one, runs away from Raper, goes for the line.
Manly had even more trouble when David Gillespie was carried off with a suspected broken jaw after this in-goal collision.
He's copped the, looks like the fist of Daniel Gardner.
Cronulla had another try-scoring chance, but this time the referee ruled Donaghy was held up over the line.
Donaghy, he's very strong, but he couldn't get it down.
Beat a couple of tackles. Wow. Nice. Nick Kosef there trying to turn Donaghy on it.
Leading by 6, Mitch Healy put the game out of reach, leaving the final score at 17-10.
Here it goes. Healy gets the shot in. The arm will go up. It's a goal, and that's the ball game.
With just one try apiece in the second half, it was a gutsy effort by Manly, but the enthusiastic Sharks deserved the win, spearheaded by veteran prop Danny Lee.
Yeah, we hung in there, even though they had 12 men. I thought we come out at them straight away and we held it pretty well most of the game.
It's been an unbelievable month for the Sharkies. Not off all the top sides, still can't sneak into that top 4 yet.
Yeah, but we're happy to be playing like we are, and we're looking forward to the next few weeks.
Illawarra's season has been reduced to that of a team trying to spoil the final contenders party. Today, though, it looked as if the Super League Sharks would comfortably hold them off when they strolled in after 5 minutes. But midway through, the teams changed ends with the Steelers ahead 10-8. But the mode of scoring remained remarkably similar.
The champion Cronulla centre, Eddinghausen.
ET's dash put the Sharks in front. Les Davidson's rampaging effort kept them there for good.
And here's Davidson. He's over.
When Aaron Raper threw the switch, Cronulla lit up and ET shone. 5 minutes later, Aaron and Andrew were at it again. For Parramatta, it was just another awful day at work. Ripped to shreds by pace and guile, the Sharks scored 8 tries to 3.
In one of their last 5 games, the Knights were out to add fire to their armour. In the first 5 minutes, their flame appeared well fueled.
Pressure with a capital N from Newcastle.
The Sharks remained solid in their first real run of the ball. Mitch Healy guided them in.
He's given it all right.
Short-lived, Matt Rogers in for his second soon after, off a questionably forward pass. Second half, same man, Rogers there again. But did he strip O'Davis of the ball? But it was Cronulla entering the victory books, Jeff Bell making sure of that.
Off the hands of Herman, and another try off the bomb.
The Sharks grabbing 4th place on the table, that spot betted by 1 should Brisbane lose to Auckland on Sunday. For Newcastle, it's sudden death semi-finals next week.
Recent weeks has been Mitch Healy's boot, and again it's served them well.
Eddinghausen taken out of it, I thought, by Hasler, but it's a try. It'll be a try.
That was a turning point. The Sharks rewarded after enormous pressure. If Manly's head was drooping, it was in danger of hitting the ground when the Sharks broke free early in the second term to lead 20-8.
He's over!
But it was unexpected. Cronulla also looked to the skies early. The match was more than 20 minutes old before the first points were scored. Rogers, back from injury, feeding off ET and gorging the points.
He's over!
2 minutes later, the Sharks were circling again. Another kick and chase, and Green found himself en route to the try line.
Green celebrates a big week!
Time. Green extended the lead when he opened the way for Bell.